The Arizona Cardinals yet again lose a close game, this time to the Packers 27-23 to fall to 2-5. And despite the fact that Jacoby Brissett is a cool story and they keep playing these really good teams close, their season is officially over with that loss. That's right, for the Arizona Cardinals, their season as far as being playoff contenders is officially over as far as I am concerned with that loss to the Packers. And it's tough because I think for my purposes, going in, watching every game, the Cardinals are one of the more interesting teams in kind of, I guess, that lower realm, not of the topper echelon teams, but that lower realm because they play kind of consistent without Kyler Murray and with Jacoby Brissett. We're seeing that they have a very good pass game. Jacoby Brissett's had 300 yards total in the last two games. He had 270 passing, but they're two highest totals of the year. They've played close. I mean, they played the Packers to 4, and for the Packers to beat them, it took Jordan Love having no turnovers and Micah Parsons really exploding toward the end of the game with 3 sacks. And for the against the Colts, they only lost to the Colts by 4, and the Colts just smoked the Chargers. And so I think their defense solid, their offense good. Jacoby Brissett has them running on time. However, the problem is everything is now up against them because of the hole that they've dug at 2-5. And being close is very, very cool and an interesting watch, but that's not winning the games, and that's what's cooking the Cardinals right now. They're 2-5. They're at the bottom of the division, of the hardest division in the NFL, in which the other teams, you look at it, you have the Rams, who are now 5-2. The 49ers are 5-2, and they've beaten the Cardinals, so they have a tiebreaker over them. And the Seahawks are 4-2 with a win over the Cardinals as well. And we will see what happens with them tonight against the Texans at home. I think they're going to win that game, but even if they lose, they're at 4-3 with that tiebreaker over the Cardinals. So with that being, I think in some divisions they might kind of be alive. But with that being said, and combined with the fact these are their next opponents, man. Cowboys, beatable team, no defense, but that offense with CeeDee Lamb was looking explosive. Seahawks, Niners, we already talked about both of them. Jags, Bucks, Rams. Yikes. I mean, the Jags are falling, right? Like they're on the downward spiral for sure right now. But those other teams, I just as good as they can play and they can put they'll probably beat one or two of those teams. And that would still put them at what, 4-8? Like I just don't see the path with that schedule, unfortunately, as well as Jacoby Brissett is playing, as much better as McBride looks in this offense now, and Marvin Harrison, he looks more comfortable, and the defense has been solid. I just don't see them being able to beat those teams. I'm sorry, Cardinals. So there are other questions, but I just think right now, season over. Specifically, though, when going to the game, them playing against the Packers and dropping this game 27-23, to me, you really got to go to, they just had a lot of opportunities, as they've had all season, to win these games, and yet again, the miscues just kill the Cardinals. And it doesn't seem to matter who's the coach, who's the quarterback, or anything. And these miscues were killers. And to me, the big one was 13-6. They're up. They kind of have it rolling. The Packers are still super sputtering on offense. Jacoby Brissett moves up in the pocket, and for some reason, maybe he was tired of getting hit because he was getting some runs in there. He actually had 30 rushing yards. He was getting sacked a lot too. But for some reason, he turns. You know what to do? Turn backwards, and he starts trying to throw the ball backwards. Now, he didn't throw it because Rashawn Gary hit the ball, popped it loose, and forced a fumble. But either way, that looked like a disaster decision waiting to happen. And off of that, the Packers end up getting the ball, scoring a touchdown, and that was the one turnover in this game. So for Brissett to do that, that was just a tough scene. And you're just like, damn, you could make the argument, outplayed Jordan Love in a lot of ways when you consider their teams, who they're throwing the. I mean, I guess the Cardinals have more weapons than the Packers for sure. If you consider, well, Kraft is good too. Equal weapons. Definitely say the Packers have a better coach and probably running game, even though Jacobs was banged up. But that turnover was really the difference because Jordan Love, he kind of knew the assignment today and didn't turn the ball over. Another one, though, I mean, kicking the ball into the end zone right before halftime, that was a huge missed decision. I believe the score was 13-3 at that point. You kick it in the end zone, Jordan, and now the reason that's such a big deal, you kick it in bounds, not only is the clock running, but in the end zone, the ball's automatically on the 35. Now, could they have gotten it there? Yes, but without having to use any timeouts, any time on a return, or any of that, Jordan Love goes out there, they hit one pass, and suddenly they're in field goal range. Now, backup kicker goes in, he makes a 61-yarder, huge kick, unfortunate, but like that was a situation that they put themselves in by trying to kick that into the end zone, and that's why the NFL added this rule, you know what I mean, to make it the 35 and not just the 25 or the 30, and it's just huge 3 points, as you see in a 4-point game. To just give those away at the end of the half was crucial. And lastly, just 4th and 1, you're up 3, it's 23-20, you have 5 minutes to go. The defense actually had just gotten a stop. And for some reason, they go up there and they run a tush push right up the middle with Jacoby Brissett, gets stuffed. I guess they thought they were going to get it. Gannon, old Eagles D coordinator, he thought shit was sweet. Thought it was an easy play, I suppose. It ain't. And Brissett, he's not that guy. And their offensive line, by the way, was getting whooped all game. So for them to think that they could just do that on 4th and 1 with no disguise, no nothing, and it wasn't even close. They might have lost yards. He fumbled the ball. It was just an ugly play. And next thing you know, the Packers, now they're in plus territory. They have complete control of the timing and the game. They score a touchdown. And the Cardinals did have a shot, but Micah Parsons went out there and ended the game. They just couldn't block him all game out there, which valid. But that decision, when they had an opportunity, either punt the ball away or let Jacoby throw it, or even something more creative. But I don't know who they thought they were on that play, but that was a crucial decision that ended up, I think, costing him the game. I'd say that and that Brissett fumble really cooked him. I think really going forward now, though, it's a lot of interesting decisions. Brissett's 32, ultimately, and you are paying Kyler Murray. So he hasn't won a game, even though the offense looks a lot better with him in than Kyler Murray. You might have to just start Kyler when he gets back. I mean, my gosh. Now the question becomes, Jonathan Gannon, does he stay? I actually think, right, like they look like a more professional football team. They look better. They lost to the Colts by 4. And I know it's not like close and everything, but the Packers played a pretty good Packers game, and so for them to be there was good. But Jonathan Gannon, they are now the first team in NFL history to lose 3 straight games after leading each game by 7+ points. So that's terrible, and it's just, man, it's bad, man. I mean, when you consider like that, even when they get better, they get worse. Brissett can't be your long-term answer. We've seen that before, and he's also 32. So now you're talking about, now you're talking about like going forward, having to draft a quarterback. I just, man, oh man. I mean, and the way that they did it, the way that they lost this game was just tough as well. And just real quick, so this is what makes it tough, right? Like, Brissett was out there, 270 passing, 2 touchdowns. He did have the 1 turnover. They're playing a defense. The defense is 8th in points. They're 10th. I'm sorry, the Packers' offense 8th in points. Their defense 10th allowed. They're top 10 in both. 11th in pass defense, number 1 against the run. They were trying to run. I think they could have ran it more. Bam Knight was doing a solid job, 14 rushes, 57 yards, but definitely not enough. It seemed like McBride, Marv, Zay Jones were making plays, but then you just have those decisions, and you can't have those decisions from your quarterback with the fumble, from your coach on that 4th and 1, and from the special teams or a coach, whatever it was, to kick that ball in the end zone and kind of allow an easy opportunity for a field goal. And it's just, it happens every week with the Cardinals. And for them, it's happened now with Kyler. It's now happening without Kyler. So as much as I think they look better without him, got to get results, got to win some games. And Gannon, I mean, how long has Gannon been there, actually? I believe it's like his 4th season? No, because it was 20. So this is his 3rd season. He hasn't made the playoffs. And I get shout out Cliff Kingsbury, man. He made the offs with this team, and they got him out of there quick. But dude at least had Kyler kind of cooking for a stretch, and they were able to do some things. Gannon so far, his career record there, 14-27. They went 8-9 last year. Looked like they were improving. It's weird the way it looks like they're getting better. The problem is, you can say schedule. You can say just these miscues, but they're not winning these games. And again, you get the Cowboys next, then the Seahawks, then the Niners. Like, they could easily lose all 3 of those and just be terrible. And people had them, they thought that they were still improving. Some people had them as like a playoff pick. I never did. I always thought they were going to be the worst team in this division. I thought they might have a better record, win some more of these games they lost, but I never thought that they were better than Seattle with Sam Darnold. Never thought they were better than the 49ers or the Rams, especially not the Rams with their D-line and Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. And I think that's the problem with the Cardinals right now. They don't have a strength. I think the closest thing to their strength would be receiving, but you'd want to say schematics, but they lost the Titans game at the end of the day. So it's a rough situation for the Cardinals. I do think they're not going to be a playoff team, and I think it's got to build something up at some point, right? Like your D-line, your O-line, you got to start there. It's going to probably start the rebuild process. I don't even know if I would necessarily fire Gannon yet, but because I do think that there's a sense of semi-stability in watching these games. I'm like, they're not terrible, right? Like, they're actually good. They're just playing a more talented team, and I felt that the last couple of weeks. But that's not going to stop. And I say the plan for them, I always make this the plan, get a big pick, trade back, get a bunch of players, and try to fix this mess. But I don't even know if that would work at this point. So we'll see what happens with the Cardinals going forward. Tough game against the Cowboys. They can win that game. They can put up points on the Cowboys. Brissett can light them up, and if they get a couple stops, anyone can beat the Cowboys and anyone can lose to the Cowboys is what we've kind of seen from that offense and that defense in Dallas. So we'll be interested to see what the Cardinals do. Maybe they can prove me wrong, turn around with a win or two coming up. I just don't see it happening for Arizona. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please watch some of the other videos on the site. I've created a playlist with each and every football team, and every week we will be going over those games. I'm really loving this, enjoying it, and hoping you guys are as well. Of course, like, subscribe, and if anyone wants to sponsor, we're looking for Lumia Sports Productions is looking for sponsors. Shout us out. We will shout you out during the video. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a great day. Enjoy.